Maybe let's start by you looking at what went wrong with your team. Obviously, after the draw in the first round, you needed a point at least in this match, and it wasn't the case.
Yeah, I think we played against a better team today in a lot of aspects of the game. I think faster, quicker, stronger, technically much better than us. But like I said in the beginning of the tournament, we're running our own race. We know who we brought here, why we brought them, and what are the objectives. And I think today serves as a great learning curve, and we really have to look at it like that and say, where can we improve our players, me, myself as a coach, where can I improve, what can I look at. But yeah, it was a difficult game for the most part for the youngsters, but that's the only way they grow.
To the floor, if any.
Maybe coach, your substitutions, maybe what was the message you putting in the first three substitutions, because they didn't change much and South Africa continued to have much upper hand on us. Then what was the message and what was the plan of the substitutions?
We changed to mesh them with a back three because they were stretching the pitch, overloading our last line with 5. So we couldn't match that because of the tempo and the speed of it. So we changed to go to a back 3, and we put Tanaka Mnemo on right wing back because he's got the capacity to then run in behind with a lot of pace. If you notice in the second half, what we're trying to do is to try and turn the South African defense around and to just get some territory in the game and be up a bit higher. So obviously they didn't get as much influence as we thought they would or hoped they would. But I think it was from a technical, physical, tactical perspective. I think their players still continue to be better in those regards. So then our changes were a bit, not too effective.
Coach, what do you think about the goalkeeper? Because I saw most of the time he said the worst. And what do you think of his performance today?
I was always planning to give a special mention to Martin. He's one of our senior players. He's a senior player that we took. I think today he showed his seniority, not only from his performance and saves, I think even the leadership on the pitch. He kept the players accountable, he kept driving them and kept pushing them. I'm sure you noticed that as much as South Africa were dominating us, we played with a lot of pride and kept going, even when things seemed to be, going a bit pear-shaped. So special mention to Martin. I'm proud of him for his leadership and obviously his performance. Thank you.
Coach, injury force substitution, I think when you're at the end, do you think that changed your game plan?
Not necessarily. I think we're always going to change the game plan at halftime because, like I said, they're overloading our last line. So I wouldn't really look into that in that way. I don't think that's the reason why we struggled today. So I wouldn't really look at that. I think if there's any mention, we could have used Tino Tendameke, but obviously there's a flu outbreak, so he couldn't play. But other than that, I think we lost to a better side today.
And it was seated in the terraces or the three.
No, there's a flu outbreak, so he's got a bad bout of flu. So obviously from a medical reason we couldn't play him. He's even struggling to breathe, so we just hope he feels better, but we couldn't play him today. He was not even in contention to play.
Coach, 90 minutes, no shot on target.
Yeah, it's an ill. We obviously saw it again last game, but I think today it was because the opponents were better. They squeezed us and they got a lot of territory. It was difficult for us to get into those areas. But I think we saw a little bit of calm in the final third from the players. There was more decisions rather than reacting. So it's something that we still have to work on.
Coach, you also had another Premier League player on the bench who was maybe an option in terms of attacking.
Who's that?
Nathan.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Maybe what was the thinking? Maybe when you needed experience, because most of the youngsters, when they were in the last stage, were looking for options, passing back, not crossing, not giving any ideas, not giving any solution to scoring. Maybe how was the plan on punishment for 90 minutes?
Look, I don't think it was because of experience. I think Nathan is still also a young player. He does play in the Premier League, but I don't think he's got that much experience that we can talk about. And if I'm being honest, like I said at the beginning, I don't really like to talk about individual players like that because they're young. He will get his turn. One of my goals is to make sure that at least every player gets a moment to play. I didn't think it was the right time for me to play him. That's why I didn't put him on.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
All the best.